Hello, we are on chapter 10, which covers emotion, and in this brief video I would like to give a definition of emotions, review the 3 theories of emotions that we discussed in class, and finally talk a little bit about the research findings on detecting emotions. Let's go ahead and get started with the definition. Our textbook defines emotion as a whole organism's response that has 3 components: a physiological arousal component, behavioral expressions component, and conscious experience component. Over the years, there have been a lot of theorists who have asked some interesting questions about what emotion is all about. One of the things they were curious to figure out was if emotion has a physiological component and a conscious experience component, how do these components relate to each other? Do they occur simultaneously? Does one precede the other? Is there something else going on in between? And these are some of the questions that are at the core of the 3 theories that I'm going to discuss here. Before I do, I want to say one thing. If you can make it visual, I believe it will help you in learning the material. These theories are not intuitively clear-cut. It takes time to memorize the names of the theorists and to fully understand the distinctions between the 3 theories. So one of the ways you can draw it is, as I did, just draw a picture which basically refers to the event that triggers some kind of emotional reaction. In this case, it is by seeing an alligator. According to James Lange, this is what happens next. I have the experience of physiological arousal, such as my heart rate going up, which is followed by the emotion of fear. I see an alligator, my heart is beating very fast, and I say, my heart is beating fast, I must be scared. How about Cannon-Bard? Cannon-Bard saw this relationship between bodily arousal and emotion a little bit differently. According to Cannon-Bard, when I see an alligator, 2 things are going to happen simultaneously. I will have the bodily arousal of, let's say, the increased heart rate, and at the same time, I will have the conscious experience of being scared. In other words, I don't need to experience the physiological arousal in order to feel the emotion of fear. The last theory we're going to review is called the Schachter-Singer, also known as the 2-factor theory of emotion. And it is the theory that can be sometimes confused with James Lange. However, there is one very important difference, that's where the exclamation point is, between James Lange and Schachter-Singer theory. According to Schachter-Singer, this is what happens. I see an alligator and I do have the physiological arousal, such as a heart rate going up. However, the next thing that happens is I am explaining in cognitive terms my experience. I'm appraising the situation. So for example, I'm seeing the alligator and I'm noticing that he is behind the fence. And I am thinking, there's an alligator and he's behind a fence, and I'm really curious to see what he is like, and I want to come up closer and see him. So I have this reaction of curiosity and interest. But let's say that I see the alligator. I have the same physiological arousal of my heart rate going up, but this time I'm noticing that the alligator is not behind a fence. And I'm thinking, well, there's an alligator and he's not behind a fence, and that could be a threatening situation to me. And as a result of that appraisal, I end up feeling scared. So this piece of appraisal, of cognitively evaluating the situation, is key in determining what emotion I will feel at the end. So again, if you can draw a picture, label everything in your own words, make it simple and make it clear, that will hopefully help you in mastering the material. Okay, we're going to move on and talk about, very briefly, I'd like to talk about the research on detecting emotions. What's particularly interesting is that we have evolved to have a very good ability to detect nonverbal cues of emotion, such as body language or facial expressions. And we are particularly quick at detecting anger. So if someone shows an angry face, we notice that at a higher speed than if someone is looking happy. An interesting finding on gender differences in detecting emotion is that women are better than men in detecting nonverbal cues. Finally, introverts tend to be more skilled than extroverts in reading emotions, and extroverts tend to be more skilled than introverts in actually expressing emotions in nonverbal ways. On this note, I'm going to stop right here, and I will see you next time with the next video. Thank you for your attention.